So we have discovered that you can add style and color information to a tag, and you can also add it to a class, and a class is a style that can be used over and over again in a page. And there is a third way to create a style, and that's using an ID. And an ID tends to be used just in one place in a page, but sometimes, IDs and class, people use them interchangeably, but the point of an ID is that there would only be one object with an ID on a page. So, for example, instead of having the singers separated here, what I could do is create two separate boxes for them, and each of the boxes would have a unique set of styles, and they would belong to an ID, so there would only be one of them. So in order to create a box, you would go Insert, Div, okay? And you can create a class or you can create an ID. So again, I want the American singers in a blue box, so I'm going to put in blue box here. And this will create a new rule for me. And when you create an ID, it has a hashtag in front of it, okay? And again, I'm just going to, for the purpose of this, put the style inside the text. So the difference between the class had a dot in front of it, and the ID is identified by having a hash in front of it. And by using this system of insert div tag, I can create things like the size of the box. So I'm just going to make the box 300 by 300. And I'm going to go into the background color. So I want a blue box for the American singer. So I'm going to go with dark blue. I want my text to be white if I've got a dark color. And that will do for the moment. That's all I want, is a blue box that's 300 by 300, and I click OK. A box appears. So I can now copy and paste the American singers into this box. So if I just scroll down a little bit, where am I? Pull this out of the way. In fact, I can minimize it. So Beyonce, Pink. I'm just going to pull them up so I can see. I actually think that the box is a little bit big, so I'm just going to open up my CSS designer panel. Here I have the features here, and I'm just going to adjust it to 200 by 200. Okay, and that'll do. So I'll put in Beyonce and Pink. Delete this, I don't need that text. And was there another one, Ariana Grande? Control X, she can go in there as well. Okay, and I'll just click delete to bring them up. Now I need a box for my English singers, so I go Insert, Div, I give it a name. So again, there's only going to be one brown box on the page, so I'm just going to call it brown box in the ID panel, because I'm not going to have two of them, or I'm not going to reuse this. So I click OK. Oops, it didn't let me set it up, so I'll try it again. Insert, Div tag, I want to put in brown box. And I want to create a new rule. Okay, and I go OK. So I can put in my box, my type, so 200 by 200. Background wants to be brown. Okay, go with white text. And another feature I can put in, if I go back to box, is I want to put in padding, which is an inner margin. So I'm just going to put in 2 pixels. And when I click OK, I have a brown box, and I can copy and paste these girls in here. And I'll just show you what the padding does. It's probably not that noticeable here, but I can go in and show it to you in here. So we'll go to the blue box, and the padding is like an inner margin. So here I can add in a padding of 5. If I click on the chain, they should all turn to 5. Oh, it didn't work for me. 5, 5. There we go. So you can see there's kind of more of a margin. I'll do the same now for brown box. I'll put in the padding 5 rather than 2. If I click chain, there you go. Now you might want to think to yourself, well, how come I can't put the 2 boxes? Why are they one underneath each other? Why aren't they beside each other? There is another feature when you're creating div tags, and you're looking for a thing called float, okay? And you want float left, and what that does is it creates a magnetic field around both of them. So when I press float there, and I click on blue box, and I put in a float here, they now stick together. Sometimes though it's difficult you have to clear the float here. So I want to clear it at this point, so clear both. And that means that the text will now go underneath it. So if you want to float two boxes together, two div tags, both of them will float left and it creates a magnetic field. But you have to then just remember to clear the magnetic field by using the option clear both. Okay. So just to summarize, an ID is a feature on a web page. It's a style, a set of styles that's contained in one area, and the ID is only used one time in a page, whereas a class is a style that can be used over and over again in different places.